Hi, I'm Arlene, and this is the first time that I'm sharing my art on YouTube, so I hope that it blesses you. I decided to do a 21-day art challenge, and I'm going to show you all the pieces that I did, and each day I did one or two pieces. Some days I didn't get to do it, so I would do another piece. I would do two in one day just to kind of make up for it. And how it turned out is that some days I did more than two pieces or more than one piece. So there may actually be more than 21 pieces in this. So without further ado, let's just dig right in. So the first day I was a little bit just rough with everything, not really thinking that I would be able to paint something every day for 21 days. And so I just used my pen and I did a little sketch with blue ink pen, as you can see in some of these areas. And then I just went over it with watercolor, and it was very, very rough. And I trust in him alone. Right here. So this was day one. Now let's look at day two. Where can I go from your spirit? Sometimes we feel like, we like to hide from God, but there really is no way to do it. We can't pretend, we can't run. There's nowhere that we can go to be, away from him, and it's kind of a good thing, because what would we do if we didn't have him? Okay, so that's day two, and we're going to go on to day three right now. Day three, I was still writing on the art at this time. I will strengthen you and help you. And this is a picture of Jesus hugging a young man. And this is just what I felt in my spirit on that day. In my morning devotion, I just felt, that the Lord, He strengthens us and helps us. So we don't have to do things on our own. You can just remember that. I know I'm guilty of forgetting that sometimes. And the next day I did this one, which I really love. It's, may I touch the hem of your garment, Lord. And I wrote it on here. Let me see if I can just make it more visible for you. May I touch the hem of your garment, Lord. And that was that one. It was done in watercolor. And I used pen as well to highlight the drawing aspects, as you can see. So I was still very rough here. May I touch the hem of your garment? I just kind of sketched it out and colored it. So it's really very rough. For this one, this was the next one I did. And this one shows that the Lord's ability to bless us cannot surpass our capacity to receive blessings. So again, that is, as much as we can hold, the Lord can give. But if our hands can't hold more, then He can't give us more. And it's the same in life, because, sometimes we may want to, say for example, be a rocket scientist, but we haven't studied physics. We don't understand math. These kind of things will inhibit His ability to make us be that rocket scientist. And I think in life there are things we want, but we're just not ready yet. So this one is demonstrating that. I really love the colors. I wish you could see them. They don't look like they're showing up too well on this, but I'll see if I can include the final one shot in very, very, very good lighting for you to see. But again, let's increase our capacity to be blessed by God. It's a real important word for me that morning. And the next one is this one, which I call He Leads Me Beside Still Waters. A lot of people say that it looks like the photograph, but it isn't. And it was just fun to do. I love the little girl because it just feels like me when I was little. And even now it just feels, this is how I feel in regard to the Lord. And we just walk along with Him and let Him lead us to peace. We really can't have peace, real true peace, without Him. And that's my opinion. So this one is He Leads Me Beside the Still Waters. The next one is a little bit rough. It was based on the scripture that says, consider the lilies of the valley, they neither labor nor spin. Not even Solomon was clothed as one of these. And it was kind of rough. It was a different style that I tried, and I wasn't sure I was loving it, but you know, it's different, and different is not always bad. Kind of like the just looseness of it. So this was it. We don't have to worry about anything, because just as the lilies are clothed, God will clothe us. He will supply our needs. The next one was really interesting, and I'm excited to share. Well, not really excited, but it's interesting to share the story behind it. Now, when I painted this one, I knew that the man in the picture had to have gray hair and an orange shirt. Now, I thought of making it yellow, but then I wanted it to pop a bit more. So I did it just basically because it was in my head that morning. And a week later, my friend's dad became ill and he passed, sadly. But he always wore a yellow-orange shirt. His hair was gray, just like this, and his arms were long. He always wore a pair of black, loose slacks. And we realized that the Lord was showing us that He was going to be with him. So this was really a prophetic art piece. It's a painting that happened before the real life event happened. And if you look at my Instagram page, you'll see other bits of art that I did and later went on to meet the persons in the art. So that's art that speaks a prophecy over what's going to happen. So this was interesting. And it turned out to be really comforting for the family. So we know he's with the Lord. Okay, the next one. This one is, he will be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, bringing forth his fruit in due season. And that's how we are. You know, we're not always going to be shining or producing, you know, being great, being awesome. Sometimes we'll just be, you know, who we are. So this is it. In due season, we will bear fruit, and in due season, we will shine. Okay, so that was watercolor, that was pencil crayon, that was ink, pen. It was fun. The next one is this one, which I love. And I call this one, he will cover you with his feathers. No. This one is, and under his wings will you find refuge. And I don't know why he was Chinese looking, but here he is, and this is just who I felt like I needed to paint on this particular day. And here it is. We have the feathers of the Lord, and this is us. I like the feel of this because I think all of us want to be him. All of us want to be covered under feathers and just safe, you know, just in a really safe place, not having to worry about anything. So this one's called, he will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings will you find refuge. The next one is this one. And this one is interesting because I call it stop fighting and let him heal you. Stop fighting and let me heal you, actually is what I called it. So it's just a reminder, he's the potter and we're the clay, and if we become hurt or broken, he's going to find a way to use that brokenness for the good of the world. You know, it's kind of reminding me of all things working together for our good. And this is, I was really just intrigued as I was doing this, because it just gives an impression that things are fading off into the background. His arms are fading, and really I felt led by the Lord when I was doing that part. So I just really felt his presence when I was painting this one. Stop fighting and let me heal you. This next one was one about feathers again. This was, they shall bear thee up in their feathers, and thou shalt not dash thy foot against a stone. And you know, we're navigating life. This was just loose watercolor and pen as usual. And you know, all the rocks she's navigating and trying to make her way across. And unbeknownst to her, there are angels just holding her up. And that's how we are. Sometimes we think we're all alone, but we really aren't. And that brings me to the next one, which shows a guy, and he's just walking on a path, which is how we are again in life. And we have no idea that we are just not alone, that there's someone there protecting us all the time. So he will never leave us nor forsake us. And that's what this one is entitled. I really love the blue. I don't know, I just love this blue-green. I just love knowing that we're not alone. We're just so not alone. The next one really speaks to me, and it is called, You Are My Prized Possession. So here on this day, I decided to paint a baby. And in all the pictures, the baby looks really golden, which is like, you know, how a prized possession would be something of gold, maybe. You know, that's the most prized metal. And so the baby just looks sparkling. I wish you could see the true color in this. I wish you could really see the color in this. But anyway, you are my prized possession. And it also reminded me of how we were knitted together in our mother's wombs by God. So it's like he had plans for us from before even the foundation of the world. It's just amazing to me. It boggles the mind. So now, on this day, there was a song in my mind, and I actually wrote the song and did a demo in the studio, so you'll probably hear it one of these days. But it's, now unto him who is able to keep you from falling be glory and majesty, dominion and power. It was in my head that day and I just could not get it out. We have to revere him because he keeps us from falling daily. We're still alive, which means that the Lord is at work. Our heart is still beating, and we don't have to think about it or make it beat. It just does. We still breathe without even thinking. And so, unto him who is able to keep us from falling, be glory, majesty, dominion, and power. The next one is kind of interesting. It's called, Can These Dry Bones Live? Now, in the valley of the dry bones, can these dry bones live? And sometimes we feel like our lives have become like this. Our dreams, our hopes are just lying like dry bones because fear, doubt, hopelessness, all of these things have made us feel stuck and frozen and like we can't move. And yet, if we just have faith, if we just breathe, if we just speak, prophesy to the dry bones, thou shalt live, then what can happen in our lives? If we just speak, receive the breath of the Holy Spirit over the dry bones, if we just have a little bit of faith about the things in our lives, they could come back to life. All our hopes, our dreams, aspirations, purpose, things that we have given up on. Can these dry bones live? The next one was interesting. As I did it, I had no idea why I was doing this particular one. And this one is about, so for the little children to come unto me. And it's just like this. It's on a black sheet of my, art sketchbook. I took the sheet out to make this video more, just free flowing. But there's something, when I finished and I look back at it, there's just something about the eyes. Let's see if I can just let you have a look. It was based on an image I found on YouTube, and I just, not YouTube, just on Google, and I just did it in this format. And so far, there have been a few people who have been impacted by this, children of abuse of all kinds, and it's been such a blessing to see them achieve some measure of freedom just after seeing this picture and just facing and addressing the issues and doing just the healing that's needed. It was just really amazing because when I did this one, I didn't know that it would bless anyone. I said, okay, so for the little children to come unto me, okay. So this is one that's just not really going to impact anyone. But you know what? just being obedient. I put it out on Instagram and in a few groups, and it just really impacted persons. So, sometimes just do it. Just go for it. Just go for it. All right, and this one shows a sky, some little shoots, and a lonely seed, which is just beginning to shoot and send down roots. And this one is entitled, "You may not feel like it right now. It may not feel like it right now, but behold, I am doing a new thing." So sometimes our lives feel like we're just a little seed. We just have a little seed, or we are just a little seed, and like nothing's happening. We feel just dark, lonely. Yeah, so it may feel like we are just in a dark, lonely place, and like nothing is happening, and yet we have pain because we're broken, we're alone. Things are happening that we don't understand, and yet it's part of a plan, and it's a really good plan. There's a promise, and it's coming, and if we just wait it out, just ride it out, just trust, we'll eventually realize what it's all for. So this one was the next one. So I'm going to move on now to one that I did for my friend when her dad passed. And this is that one. "Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." And I did my friend as a little girl. This is the same friend who lost her dad in the image that I did before. I just thought it was really nice. It was just, I did it for her. Okay, and then this one came after that. And I love this because essentially it's like he loved us before the foundation of the world. And so I always have the sense that we sat with Christ before, and we had a look, and he would tell us, okay, you're going to be born here, you're going to go through this, you're going to go through that, this is going to be a little bit of a rough patch for you, but we're going to use it later on because you're going to be able to help to counsel people who are going through the same thing. You're going to be able to help them, and this is going to make you so strong that you're going to be able to withstand this or that, and you're going to be great at about age whatever, 59, who knows. But I just feel like there was a little learning time when we had a little chat with the Lord before we were born, because the Word of God says He loved us, He knew us before the foundation of the world. So I find that very interesting. And I think we're over day 21 now, but I'm just going to keep going with a few extra little tidbits. This one was done very delicately with charcoal and watercolor, and I wanted it to be soft, and it's entitled "For I Know the Plans I Have for You." It's like when we were in the womb, He knew He had plans for us. And the last one is entitled "I Did It For You." I did it for you. And this is a good one to end on, because this art that I've done over the past 21 and more days, I didn't put watermarks on them, and I put them right out in Instagram so they can be used by the world. Anyone who wants to use them, anyone who wants to do anything with them, you can use them. I didn't make them restricted in any way. They're not copyrighted, but they are mine, and now they're my gift to you. So just like how Jesus did it for us, I did the art for you. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Bye now.